Now we come to Christmas. I hear people saying keep the Christ in Christmas, but don't realize the Yule has been removed from Yuletide. For thousands of years, our European ancestors were not Christian. They did not celebrate Christmas. Jesus is an idea that only appeared to Europeans about 1700 years ago. I know people get heated on the topic of Jesus, but the reality is Christmas is entirely based on Yule, an ancient celebration of the winter solstice in the northern hemisphere. Most definitely, in every sense of the word, it is a white holiday. First, why is the sun so important to Northern Europeans? Well, the winters are long and dark. The sun is life, and observing its course means a change in season. Without the sun, Northern European people would die, unlike the lunar people of the desert who have warm days year-round. Northern Europeans are ice people. Fire was of utmost importance to the survival of our ancestors. Our industriousness comes from thousands of years of living in the cold, preparing for winter. Otherwise, we'd die if not prepared. Unlike an African who can pick a watermelon or other fruit year-round, he has no rush to prepare for the brutal winter. Although Africans now have Kwanzaa and Jews have Hanukkah to honor their people, we are told that Christmas is for everyone. It's a globalist holiday, but it's based on a distorted truth, culturally appropriated from Yule. Yule always will be an ancient European tradition, a celebration meant for Europeans, honored for thousands and thousands of years before Christmas. We are of the North. This celebration is deeply a part of our ancestral psyche. Christianity was an attempt to unify Europeans under one God, and it was a violent process. That's just the reality of it. Over time, our pre-Christian knowledge was eroded and supplanted with Christian names and faces, but buried deep, the truth remains. It's why we love the feeling of Christmas so much. The church had to keep the main elements of pagan myth because within it lies powerful truths, charged with thousands of years of accumulated ritual. It's the only way people would have accepted it. There had to be something familiar and truthful within it. Let's briefly recall the story of the Christian Christmas without getting into the creation of Christianity itself. But if you haven't, look into the work of Joseph Atwill or Akira S., who were on Red Ice Radio. There's different ideas on the origins and why Jesus was called the King of the Jews, but this story, although with borrowed elements, is not the story of our ancestors. And yes, I've heard many people say, we are the true Israelites, but isn't it telling when Christians can name the Jewish tribe they think they're from, but not their own in Europe? A major disconnect has happened here. And of course, you can compare the many parallels of Christianity to Norse, Greek, and Egyptian myth. For instance, Odin. He wounded himself by a spear. Hung for 9 days on the world tree, he uttered that he had sacrificed himself to himself. He came back to life with knowledge and power over the 9 worlds. Sound familiar? Christmas. We are told that an angel appeared to a virgin woman, Mary, and said she would miraculously conceive and give birth to a son. The child would be called Jesus, the King of Kings. Well, it was decided by Pope Julius that his birth would be celebrated on December 25th, placing it right in line with the winter solstice, intentionally to claim it. This son Jesus would be the light and savior of the world. The Son of God, the light of the world, the risen Savior, he who will come again. Yule. Yule, a 12-day celebration in Old Norse, sounds just like Yule in Swedish, which means wheel. The wheel marks the changing seasons, the course of the sun, and the cycle of life. The sun cross or sun wheel is an ancient European symbol. That's why burning a giant sun wheel is a Yule tradition, one to start doing again. The female aspect of Christmas is important. Mary gives birth to a son. In the Nordic story of Yule, the highest goddess, Frigg, the wife of Odin, is associated with fertility, marriage, household, and motherhood. Frigg has her own palace, where she sits spinning clouds to float above Midgard, the human world. She spins the wheel of life, bringing in the new sun, the change in season. The Yule wreath is a symbol adapted from Frigg's spinning wheel. She is also the mother of Balder, the god of light, truth, and peace. He was considered the most favored and best of the gods. Balder has visions of his death and is pierced with a spear of mistletoe, like the mistletoe we incorporate during Yule. His mother Frigg weeps over his body, and some think her tears became the white berries on the European mistletoe. The European mistletoe is used for medicinal properties, but it was also a ritual plant in the north. Its berries contain alkaloids, which are stimulating and make us feel good. They certainly can help with depression in those long, dark Nordic winters. Kissing under the mistletoe is inspired by the Norse. Balder is symbolized by the mistletoe. He dies, but in the time of Ragnarok, or Norse apocalypse, he will be reborn. This is the story of Christ's second coming depicted in Revelation. Norse culture and myth is ancient, far older than Christ. So kissing or having sex under the mistletoe makes sense. Two come together under the spirit of a favored god, and it leads to the birth of a blessed baby, maybe even the return of Balder. The European mistletoe is also used to reverse infertility. The white berries of the mistletoe each contain a sticky seed. It's like semen. Plants give us clues of their uses. The mistletoe is semi-toxic and it's parasitic to other trees which it grows upon, yet it has healing properties. It's like the bittersweet story of Balder's death and return. The mistletoe grew in the Norse holy groves high in the trees like a crown. The female aspect of Yule is so important that the first night of Yule, the night before the solstice, was called the Mother's Night in some Nordic areas. Our pre-Christian ancestors venerated both male and female deities and applied them to cycles of nature. Although Christians decided to give Mary a virginal conception, Yule openly celebrates fertility. What are the Yule or Christmas colors? Red. Red represents blood from a woman, menstrual or from birth. Green represents growth or nature. Gold represents the sun, the life giver. And white represents snow, but also semen. The Yule log, the mistletoe, the feast, the lights, gifts, and decorating the tree are all pre-Christmas traditions containing sacred symbology behind it. In those days, plants and trees that remained green all year seemed magical for Europeans in the winter, such as evergreen, pine, spruce, holly, mistletoe, and ivy, the plants we associate with Christmas today. Every 9 years, Vikings had a sacred sacrifice to the gods called blut, which means sacrifice, worship. Many gathered from around to offer their gifts to the gods in exchange for blessings and fertility, sustenance, and protection. After sacrificially taking the life of an animal, they would be hung from holy trees in a sacred grove. The blood would drip from the trees. You know the red Yule ball ornaments you hang from the tree? They are symbolic of the drops of blood or pieces of flesh given to the gods. Here we find the colors red, white, and green. Red blood, white snow, green trees. But what about Santa or Saint Nick? On the night of Yule, the bearded Odin leads a great hunting party riding his fierce 8-legged horse named Sleipnir. He leads a band of horsemen and hounds in a hunt through the night sky. On that night, children usually placed boots filled with hay outside their doors to feed Sleipnir. Odin would leave a gift in return. That's why we hang stockings on the mantle. Some countries still fill the socks with hay. And in Norse myth, the gods like gifts. Hence the cookie and milk for Santa. Reindeer come from Northern Europe. How many reindeer pull Santa's sleigh? 8. 8 being the 8 legs of Odin's horse. Rudolph was not added until 1939 by a Jewish man. For some, this changed the lineup to 9 reindeer. While 9 is still an important number in Norse myth, there are 9 worlds. Odin hung for 9 days. Thor takes 9 steps before falling to the ground, killing a serpent. 9 fertility feasts every 9 years, and there's others. Thor, the god of thunder and lightning, rode a chariot pulled by 2 goats. 2 of Santa's reindeer are named Donner and Blitzen. Donner means thunder in German. Blitzen means lightning in English. This is a reference to Thor and his goats. Santa is Odin, a magical god and a wise shaman. Kids today leave a cookie for Santa, no different than Vikings leaving a gift to their gods. Of course, to the church, this wise ancestor we call Santa is Satan. Elves, like Santa's helpers, are very much from Germanic Norse myth. One of the 9 worlds is called Alfheim, the home of light elves. They aren't gods, but they possess magical powers and skills. Santa wears red and white. Some think these colors come from the Amanita muscaria mushrooms that grow in the northern hemisphere. They think Santa is symbolic of the shaman who eats the magical mushroom and hallucinates, having a flying experience. While people and animals did eat hallucinogenic mushrooms, this story doesn't just come from any shaman who trips out, but it comes from Odin. As I said earlier, red and white are symbolic of blood and semen, but also blood and sacrifice to the gods. Odin is also a god of war. War is red. The Christmas story, both with Jesus and Santa, puts human faces to a natural phenomena, the winter solstice, the rebirth of the sun. Well, so did ancient Europeans. We had deities for all things in nature. The sun is the savior of the world, especially when you live in the cold north. But the deities that arose from the collective psyche of our European ancestors are also communicating the inner cycle of birth, death, and resurrection. Yule is both inner and outer. We are tied in with the earth's cycles, which affect us internally and externally. Our ancestors knew this. To be cut off from this is to be dead. The winter solstice marks an important turning point, the shortest day of the year and the longest night of the year, which means the next days will be lighter, longer, an increase in the hours of daylight until the summer solstice. And if you lived through a northern winter, you'd understand why this turning point of more daylight is so cherished and venerated. It's the equivalent of passing through the dark night of the soul. You might already know this, but even the days of the week come from the Norse. This Christmas falls on Friday, Fredag in Swedish, which comes from Freya and Frigg, the Norse goddesses. Why do we respond so deeply to Norse myth? There's evidence, and I agree, that Scandinavians and by extension Russians are the earliest Europeans. We come from the north, not the south. That is why elements from Norse myth can be found in various European pre-Christian cultures. It's the same story, and that is why the anti-white establishment demonizes Norse myth and culture and calls it racist. Think about it. Europeans are told that they are the one group that can't have exclusive cultural holidays, not even countries. Now in multicultural white countries, Europeans can't even say Christmas, the all-inclusive copy of the real thing. And in places like Sweden and Germany where they still honor Yule, they're being told to say happy holidays to not offend newcomers. Let's go to Israel and tell them their manufactured Happy Hanukkah is offensive because they slaughtered pagans and we celebrate Yule. It's time to reclaim your true culture. Holidays, myths, rituals, and values. Reject the fake copy that is giving you a watered-down version of the truth, cutting you off from connecting to your line, your people, and your grounding. So this solstice, some ideas to celebrate Yule. Create new rituals or observe old ones. Burn a bonfire, a sun wheel, or make a Yule bach and put it under the tree. Go into the woods and cut down a tree together. When you bring it in the house, cut the stump and do what they did in the old days. Carve wishes to the gods into the stump before you burn it in the fire. This is the Yule log. Then spread the magical ashes on your garden or use it to make soap. Create and decorate a centerpiece made of things that grow outside. Tell the kids about Odin's hunting party and leave a boot full of hay for Sleipnir. Make spirals outside made of trees and natural plants or lights. Create an altar in the house to honor the season, your people, and your gods. Make a feast. Include a boar, which we now call a Christmas ham. Drink glögg, sing songs, tell stories of your family, their origins, and your culture's myths. Make ornaments with European symbols and surround your house with them. Make blessings for the new year. Incorporate the mistletoe, holly, ivy, and northern winter plants. Be outside for the solstice. Create candles made of ice and light them on fire. If you live in the north, make it a ritual to wake up early one day in the few weeks until the solstice to see the 2 morning stars. Morning stars are our people, ice people in the north, not something evil as Christians say. Everything is in reverse. Don't believe the lie that says we don't have a culture. Empty materialism and cheap Chinese goods is not our culture. The fact is, we have an ancient, powerful culture, one that everyone else around the world is culturally appropriating. Our ancestors were radical, primordial traditionalists. They weren't having orgies, eating mushrooms, and drinking blood every night like our enemies like to portray. It's time to reclaim your true culture. Holidays, myths, rituals, and values. Reject the fake copy that is giving you a watered-down version of the truth, cutting you off from connecting to your line, your people, and your grounding. Tell the story of the night your ancestors used to sit and wait for the birth of the sun god Balder, born of the goddess Frigg and fathered by Odin. Whether you're Irish, Swedish, German, Russian, Romanian, Yule and the winter solstice is our European celebration. The true meaning of Yule is deeply embedded in your psyche, passed down from our ancestors who honored the sacred knowledge for thousands of years. It is highly charged, and that's why everyone wants a piece of our tradition. But it's ours alone, and no supplanted non-European figure is going to erase that truth. This Yule is the perfect time to be reborn and resurrect your tribe, your sacred European values. It's going to be a white Christmas indeed. This Yule, share this video with your family and friends. Tell the truth about the origins of Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, and Christmas, and most importantly, Yule. It belongs to us alone. Happy Yule and happy winter solstice.